Hey friends, Jill here, and welcome back to the Market Buy podcast. I am fangirling a little bit because I cannot tell you how much I love this woman, and I'm so honored that she has come and just blessing all of us with all of her knowledge. And that's Karen Fenderson. And Karen, thank you so much for being here. I know you have such a busy schedule with the kids and all of the projects, so I am so grateful that you are here today.
I'm so grateful to be here with you too, Jill. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Yes.
Yeah, me too. So tell everybody just a little bit about yourself. I know that you really started off as like more mom blogging,
Yeah.
but you have so many amazing projects going on right now. So kind of give us like a rundown of your journey and what brought you here today.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, first off, I'm honored to be with you, Jill. And I just adore you and Michael and how you move in your marriage. I want to make sure I say that and how you guys show your love for one another in social media because the world needs to see more of what beautiful marriage looks like and the
Thank you.
sloppiness and messes in marriage, too, and the funny about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm Karen, a lifestyle mom blogger. And it all started out after I got married, had the kids. I no longer really cared about what kind of career moves I made. I'd already got all the degrees. I'd already been in a profession already. But then when I had my babies, it's like that became my life. Like I wanted to give them every bit of whatever God has given me for his greatness and just lean into my kids. And but I was always a career woman. Well, like I said, multiple degrees. But the thing was, is once I had the children, you shift as a mother. You shift because I had an amazing mom, I had an amazing dad, I had a really strong family structure. So I always knew I wanted to be the mom that could make it to the soccer games, that could make it to the cheerleading, this and other. I didn't want to be the mom that's busy making a lot of money, but I'm not there. And that's no shade to anyone who wants that. I wanted to be very present with my kids. So what happened was I always listened to them. And my oldest daughter said to me, Mama, you should start blogging. You wrote a book, you wrote several books. And why don't you start blogging? And what you had to say, I think people will read. I think people listen to you. So what happened was I started doing that. And Brooklyn was right. And so I started a blog. It's the blog. I'm sorry, I got allergies this morning. I started a
Good.
blog. It's called Raising Greatness. And I went on Instagram, was like, I wonder if Raising Greatness is available. I was like, what? So I got Raising Greatness official on Instagram. And then I just kind of took over the whole Raising Greatness piece. Because when I started out, I always wanted people to know that my blog was not just for me and them as parents, but it was also there for people who are not parents, for people, for women and men who need to just focus on who am I and where is my greatness and how do I raise myself up into greatness. So it's kind of like it started out as a mom blog, but now it's beginning to morph into like other aspects of how I help other people, my clients who may not even have children, how they lean into their greatness. So I'll say that had me go into like, man, the kids, when you're raising these kids, branding my family and didn't even know I was branding them because I only showed my Instagram because I was working on my blog, but I didn't think about me being like an authority in the space. I just went to blog, right, and just be a mom. But what happened is where we met on Clubhouse kind of forced me into really going deeper back into who I truly am. Because I was afraid to be those things because my kids did the whole acting thing. And I was afraid to go too deep in my own thing because then how would I be able to get my kids to their greatness if I'm really just doing too much? So it's always been that mom guilt for me of like how to manage it, the wife guilt. Like I didn't want to be the mom that was just setting or the wife that was just setting across the country and I'm not there. I wanted to be present with my family, very much so. And that's where I am today. So what happened was because of that, I began to do business with my children. So Brooklyn, at the time she told me to start blogging, I think she's like 17. Now she's 19. And Bailey, the youngest one, is a little foodie. And then Brayden, he's our sports kid and he's an actor also right along with Bailey. And as they continue to book all the jobs from True Detective to Clouds, to Netflix to Hulu to commercials, Google, you name it, State Farm, my kids have done it. And I thank God for those opportunities. And then even me, I've done things for TV and even my husband. And we're going to be doing something for TV next month, Jill. We're going to go film
Wow.
for a TV show next month. The entire family going out of the country. And I'm so grateful that now is a good time for us to actually get to go. But I would say to you that I think the biggest thing for me is that when you become a mother or a wife, you just shift. It becomes less about you and more about them. And so with that being said, when I came on Clubhouse and where I met you and Michael, I got my voice back.
Mhm.
And I realized that I could do both, right? So when I came on Clubhouse, I was in the midst of creating The Youngest Child, who's our foodie, a food brand, which will be launching on Amazon very, very soon. We're so
So
excited.
exciting.
Yeah. And she's a little kid. She's only 11 years old. She's on all her packaging. My 19-year-old did all the branding for her. And then my son was there to taste everything. Okay. But it's just been a wonderful thing to come to the space where I am now, where yes, I can be a boss mom and I can boss mom with my children
That
and
is
my
so
husband.
unique.
Yeah. That
That is
changed everything.
wow. Wow. So there's a lot that I want to unpack. The first thing is that what I really respect you for, and I knew most of your story, but I didn't know the extent of, what you were just talking about. But I feel like what you've really done is taken the root of your business is around family. It's that
Yes.
value, that core value that you have of
Huge.
being a wife, being a mother, and that keeping that family together. I think more families need that. I think that in America, we have this culture where we don't necessarily support our family very much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
especially if somebody goes against, like, off the beaten path,
Like
or
me.
you're starting your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People tend to be like, oh, don't get your hopes up. But I think what you've done is you've created this unique family dynamic where all of the family is close, but you're all in business together, which I
Yes.
think business actually brings a family closer together. There's those myths like, oh, never work with family, like never do business with family. I feel like it brings you guys closer together.
Yes, it does. And also too, um, I've always wanted to be the mom where I can stay connected to my children as they
Mhm.
grow up and become adults, stay connected. And even if they choose they don't want to be bothered with the business, which is not the case, if any of them at this point. But what I love is that it gives me opportunity to really figure out who are they and how do they think? How do they see the world? Because they don't see it like me. I'm a
Mhm.
Gen X. Most people don't believe that, but I'm a Gen X. And I don't see the world the way the millennials do, or
Right.
definitely not the way Gen Z sees it, and definitely not the way Alpha see it, right? Because I'm raising an Alpha and two Gen Zs, and my husband and I are Gen X, right? Although people don't realize I'm a Gen X, but at the end of the day, because I move like a millennial, I really
Mhm.
do, and I'm grateful I look like one. Thank God, thank you, Lord. But I'd say is that I think the biggest thing for me though is that I think it was Tony Robbins said something about if you can find a way to do business with your family, that's a huge win. And I remember him saying that, and I just held on to it because it's true. It's so true. So I don't have to worry about like jet setting across the country to go work out a brand partnership or a deal or whatever it may be, because the whole family's going.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
we jet set, it's everybody's gonna go,
Yeah,
right?
it's not about you, it's about
No, it's
us.
us.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's example. That is my messaging for other families. And that is what I want to do within my business more of is show families how to move together to create an incredible multi-million dollar business. Because this business that we created for Bailey is projected to be multi-millions.
Mm.
Although it's Bailey's the face of the brand, my daughter, the 19-year-old, created the brand imagery and what it looks like and how it moves alongside KP Media TV, where Bailey's show is going to be on as well as ours. None of these things could happen if I didn't have the children who are right here next to me, because I believe that families work well together when the kids are allowed to have something to say too.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I
they added
agree.
so much richness to our business. I mean, when I say richness, like Bailey will say things like, I think we need to do this, mom. And she's 11 and she'll say, this is what I want to have in my business. And this is what I want to do with my money. And this is the charity work I want to do. And this is what I want to give back. And she goes on and on and on and on about how she wants to do what she wants to do with the money for her charities and things she's thinking about to give back. So for me, I think that when families see that it can be done, then we'll see more of it. Because reality is the businesses who are family, like your In-N-Outs and your Walmarts, look at where they are today.
Yeah, it's all family and generational. I think it's really about creating that generational wealth that
Absolutely.
everybody strives for, but there's no clear way, of course, to really figure out how to do that. So you kind of have to
Yeah.
figure it out on your own. But I think what's really interesting, what you said too, is like you made that choice to make your kids a part of your
Yeah.
business as well. And I can totally see you're setting them up for so many options in the future that if
Yes.
they want to go to school, they can. And if they want to go pursue entrepreneurship, they absolutely can. And you know,
Yes.
what's crazy about Michael and I is when we were engaged and we were coming up on our wedding day, we were probably like 4 months out from our wedding day, and we were both like realizing that our days were go to our jobs until 5, come home, we have a couple hours together, and then we do it the same day every day, and we'd get our
Get
weekends.
up
But
all over again.
to
Yeah.
us, that wasn't enough time. So we had the foresight. We were like, okay, we want to spend more time together. How can we do that? Let's start a business together and let's
Yeah.
work together. So I don't think a lot of people know this about us, but before we got married, instead of going on a honeymoon, we invested in our first business. And
Yes.
people
That's
thought we
dope.
were
I like
nuts.
that.
They were like, you're not going on a honeymoon. And like, we took a honeymoon a year later, but we really saw that we were investing in our future together. And it was like also like locking that door shut, like this is forever, there's
Hmm.
no back door, it's you and me forever. And like we finally saw that dream come to life last year when Michael went full time with me. And I'm so grateful that we did that, that we had that foresight, that we put the core of our values is our marriage. And then we
Yes.
have it branches out to our business. And I
Yes.
think it's okay to think like that. And that, you know, the job shouldn't be the core of your life. It should be your family,
Family.
your marriage, your
Yes.
children, you know, things like that.
I agree. And I think, oh, you said so many really great gems there about you guys made a decision
Mhm.
that you want to spend more time together, because that's the thing we can't get back is
Yeah.
time. Like I said, I told you, I did not want to be the businesswoman with all the, the red bottom shoes and jet setting and with the suitcase. And you see all this imagery on Instagram and they're all over the place and they're boss moms. And that's cool. But that was not what I wanted to do. I
Mhm.
wanted to jet set with my family and we do it together. Why? Because I want to stay connected to my husband and I want to stay connected to my kids all my life. And I want to be the messenger to moms and to women that you can do this. You
Mhm.
know, we grow up and we do all these things. We go to college, like in my case, you go to college, let's go to college, you get your degrees, you get a job, you get a family, you work, then you die.
Mhm.
Well, I feel that you only have this moment in time, right? So I want to leave something for my kids that they like, yeah, my mama told me I could. My
Mhm.
daddy told me I could. I can't hear what you're saying because my mama and daddy already told me who I am. I
Mhm.
know I'm greatness. I know I'm going places. I know if I set my mind to do something, I can accomplish it. If I can teach my children that, and then they can take that and go tell somebody else that, my work is done. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
way beyond, what I like about In and Out, at the bottom of their cup, they have the scripture at the bottom of the
Yeah.
cup. And, we have little hidden gems on our stuff too. On Bailey's brand, it's there. It's a small little print there, the scripture that is grounded in her beliefs and our beliefs as a family. Because I really believe that you can make all the moves you want. You can have everything and still have nothing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's way deeper than just being a successful businesswoman, my husband being a successful businessman. It was about how do we be rich in family, rich in values, rich in purpose, rich in impact, and the money will flow if you're
Mm.
clear on what you need to be doing and how you move. So I think, that is beautiful that you and Michael made a decision. That is, and your marriage, you can tell. No, and here's what I love. You guys don't act like it's all cookie cutter great. Everybody got stuff,
Oh,
right?
yes.
I've been married for 21 years. You don't think Wes and I've had some stuff, but I think oftentimes people are given that whole fairy tale as well, right? And then the husband goes to work and the wife stays home, and then all the kids come, and the husband's happy to be out working like a, oh my God. No, he's tired too.
Mhm.
And he needs purpose too. Because sometimes when the man is doing so much working and you are home, he forgets his whole purpose
Mhm.
because he's so busy grinding to take care of the family that he forgets why he started in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
great. You guys grinded in. You're going to build something together from the inside out. That's great. Man.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and I mean, you said so many powerful things there about being rich in purpose and rich in family, because if you're the core of what you're doing, your purpose is to make money, it's almost like a battle. Like money, I think will elude you. If you're
Yeah.
trying to like the purpose is to make money, it's going to be harder. But if the purpose is to, make an impact, help people
Mhm.
see that there's another option, that they can pursue the things that they want and actually achieve it, then the money just takes care of itself. Like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, you have to sometimes hustle. You do have to
of
be on
course.
it as like, for us, we have to be on it finding new
Have
clients,
to. Yeah.
and you know that. So you have to follow it up with the discipline, with the actual action. But at the core, if it's to change somebody's life, the money will take care of itself.
Yes, it will. Well,
Yeah.
I believe in the scripture that says, well, when you do what you're supposed to do, God's going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going to position you when you're a steward to what he's called you to do with your life. He's going to position the blessings for you. You won't even have to work that hard for them. He will just start aligning people, places, and things for you to have success and abundance in your life. And no, it's not going to come overnight. For some people, it might, but for most of us, you have to grind and have grit and have tenacity, and you have to have faith like nobody's business to be an entrepreneur. And
Mm,
you have to believe in something, even if other people think you're crazy.
yeah. Absolutely. It's kind of there's a really cute saying, and it's something about like a dog believes in a rainbow, like dogs are colorblind. It's something like that. I'm butchering it.
Yeah.
But that's so true. And faith is so key on any journey where you're going against the beaten path.
Yeah.
And I always loved the analogy about like having blinders up like a racehorse, because if they look,
Mm-hmm.
they have the blinders there because if they look to the left or the right, they lose like half a
Right.
second,
You
which could
lose.
be losing the race. So it's just about like having that purpose at your core, and you're going to be tested. Like you're going to be some days where
Constantly.
you're like, why am I even doing this? What is happening right now? And you're right, having a very strong faith muscle, whatever that looks like for you,
Mm-hmm.
having that strong faith and that belief that it will happen will help you keep going. And like, yeah, I mean, just like you said, there's Michael and I have had like, we've gone through stuff like, and everybody who's been in marriage can say you have highs, you have lows, you have in
Yes.
betweens, you have surprises, but that's just life. And the more that you can kind of prepare for that, and you can get yourself on a level where you can be prepared emotionally and financially, then you can keep going and you
Yeah.
don't let it derail you. But that's something that you have to learn. And sometimes you have to learn that the hard way.
Hard way. Yeah. And the other thing too, I was going to tap into is like you said early on about how people thought it was crazy that you guys chose to put your honeymoon off to start your
Mm-hmm.
business. And that's the whole key. As long as the people at your core that are in it with you understand there's nothing crazy about it. We just got crazy faith. You can't understand this because you're not us. But I'll tell you, we told no one
Mm,
about what we were doing with Bailey. Now that it's
that's smart.
complete, now we say a little bit of something. But most people have never even seen it. But they will see it. By the time, this comes out, it'll be out, right? But the point is, if I'd have told people, yeah, we're rolling out a food brand for Bailey, they'd be like, what? You gonna put a black little girl on taco seasoning? Uh-huh, yeah, because I'm from New Mexico. Okay, Mexico. And I know Spanish and I live in that culture. That's where I grew up, New Mexico. And a little small town is right next door to Texas. I was right on the border. You can buy lottery and Texas tickets at the same time. You can walk across the street and have New Mexico. And I mean, literally walk across the street and get the Texas ones too. So you got 2 for 1 trying to win the lottery. Okay. But the point is, I grew up extra country, as y'all can tell who listening and watching this podcast, is that, but my values the core value was family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So secrets within our family were there. So this is one of those kind of secrets we're like, you know what? We're not telling nobody. We're going to get this done because other people might think I'm crazy. Going to think, like, oh, this is a huge risk. It's a lot of money that you're investing. What if it doesn't work? All kinds of things what people will tell you. I made up my mind. She loves food like nobody's business. And she's like a little Slim Jim for real. I don't know where it goes. Maybe to the feet that's growing, the legs that are growing. I don't know. But there's a little slim kid who really has something to say and have had something to say since she was like 3 years old.
Mm,
So this kid's been making wheatgrass shots and turmeric shots. And I taught all this stuff. We go in the grocery store. She trying to tell people about wheatgrass and why it's good for you. Look at my mom. She looks all young. Look at her. This is what she's telling people, and the blessing is because of the kids, I've been able to do Disney Junior. I did Disney Junior with Bailey, with Doc McStuffin, and to watch her be surprised when she gets to meet Doc McStuffin and her talking about healthy eating and food with the chef that has taught and trained her how to do most of the stuff she knows how to do today. And to see her evolve into now saying she's ready to do business. She's ready. And she's ready to do interviews. She's ready to go on to shows. She's ready to do these things in terms of like talk about her brand, right? Now, because the generation Alpha and Z, they are our future. But the thing is, the future for them is now. So many times parents don't listen to their kids because they feel like, oh, you young, you have nothing to say. Well, I'm an educator. That's my heart. I'm used to teaching little kids. I went and did it yesterday. I felt good to go work with some kids yesterday at school. And for me, I stay close to that. Even though I'm retired, I stay close to it. I retired early, but I stay close to it because I always want to know, what do the kids think? What do the kids have to say? Because I think if we take the time to listen to the innocent voice of a child, they teach us so much. Oh my God. And they make us so much better. So for me, as a mom, when I decided to go ahead and do this with Bailey, it all started with just her like being downstairs, taking out all the stuff out the pantry, all the seasonings out the pantry. Kitchen looked like a complete disaster. Go downstairs, all these bowls with all the seasoning poured out, not a drop left in any of the containers. And me, the kind of mom I am, I'm like, okay, as crazy as I'm thinking in my head, oh my God, look at this kitchen. Why is she doing this? Is my thought process. So I say, so Bailey, so what you doing? Oh, Mom, how can I cook if I don't know what they taste like? I was like, okay, Bailey, I think that's great. But next time, can you just get your little spoon and pour a little bit in each container? But now, Mom, I don't have no more seasoning left. I have none. But I'm glad that you, really have decided that you want to learn what all these flavors taste like. And that's what kind of struck the chord of, oh, this kid really is into flavor, right? Yeah. So because of that, and then her whole thing is like, Mommy, if I'm cooking and you're there with me, and Chef Bryce comes when he can, if you were there with me, then now we're showing families how to cook together.
Oh, that's so cute.
So that's how her show kind of morphed from just her and Bryce to me kind of getting thrown in it. And then now the whole family's thrown in it. And now we get to take the show back on the road like she always wanted. Because in her mind, Bailey thinks she's Guy Fieri with just 2-strand twists, black little girl versus his blonde hair, right? Him rolling up in a convertible and her rolling up on her bike, right? That's the difference. But she really, really likes how he goes around and promoting these restaurants. So you see what I'm saying? And so it's still outside of, even though she's a kid, it's outside of herself still. You know what I mean? Where she's like, that's the impact. And so now she's like, Mom, now when I go back to the restaurants, I can really help them. Because they're on my show, and then we can share the episode, and then people can go try their restaurants and they'll know that they're still there, because a lot of restaurants didn't make it through what we're coming out of,
Yeah.
So that's it right there. So I think if we just stop and listen, they have so much, just the richness and purpose in what they say to you. You may not like it, but they tell you the truth, and they help you move the direction you're supposed to go.
I totally agree. And I think that it's funny when you hear people say like, oh, Gen Z is stupid, or, like these dumb limiting beliefs. And it's funny because Michael and I, we're very proud that we've been able to connect with, because we're millennials, but we've been able to connect with Gen X, Gen Z.
Yes.
Not so much the alpha yet, but we're going to be working on that next. But millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, and even like my mom's
baby
generation.
boomers. Yeah.
We've been able to connect with so many different age groups, and we talk about that a lot. Like in your audience, you want to be able to connect with more than just one generation, because that's going to give you more, long-term sustainability of your business. And yeah, I think that part of it too is that responsibility of like helping the next generation and like opening their eyes and encouraging them. And like, we've had so many Gen Z, well, we got our start on TikTok,
Yeah.
and Gen Z loved us. And because we were like, oh man, Gen Z, they are tough. Like, they do not deal with like fakeness or
No.
whatever. And so we took that seriously. We were like, okay, we really want to work to identify with them. And it's a lot of times people think we are Gen Z, and we're like, you're
Yes.
so sweet. You can be our friend
Videos at
forever.
least. Yeah, but at least videos. Like I was like, okay, they might be videos. I was like, because you seem like, because you're able to connect. That
Hmm.
whole intergenerational thing is huge. When you can cross generations, you have stepped into a completely different avenue of business, of relationships, and impact, for sure.
Yeah, well, and I think what's like what I really liked when I met you was that you at your core were just all about serving people,
Yeah.
and that impact that you want to have. And like you said, pulling greatness out of people. I can totally say firsthand that you've pulled so much greatness out of me, because the talks
Wow.
that we've had one-on-one, and if you guys aren't following Karen, please go follow her. She's so inspirational and just a lovely soul. And
Thank
I
you,
think
dear.
that what your power is you really know how to get down to people's like the root.
Yeah.
And you know how to like give that the fertilizer that it needed for that extra limb of growth, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. But talk about like, what does that mean to you now, like pulling greatness out of people, and like, what has that been for you in your life?
I think, when you're an educator, you don't, just because you stop educating in a school place or location, you still continue to be an educator all the years of your life, if that is truly the calling that God has on your life. So I've always believed that I'm a teacher, and if I'm going to teach, then I need to have experiences that I can pull from to help someone else. And I've been able to cross generations as well, from the alphas all the way to the baby boomers as well, because I just get it. I'm just going to be honest. I just get it. I understand that we all want to reach our greatness. And some of us reach it when we're you guys' age. Some of it reach it when we're very young. Some of us reach it when we get much older. And I often tell people, like, Martha Stewart didn't really do what she did until she got into my age group. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she got into her 50s. That's when she took off. And some of the greatest, my number, because my Brooklyn does that, I'm an 11 too.
I'm an 11.
You're 11? No wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm 11 too. So 11 twos, as you know, are like super leaders.
Yeah.
So that's like your Oprah, that's like your Barack Obama's, like super leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I told you when we first started the conversation, I didn't really allow myself to be a super leader anymore because I was so busy being mom and wife. I love that more. And then I didn't realize that I had dimmed my light that much until I got on Clubhouse. And then I thought, okay, if I'm going to do the work that God has assigned me and help people get to their greatest, I got to start to make moves the way I'm supposed to. So to be honest with you, Jill, people may not realize it, but I have been standing in the shadows. It may not seem like it because I've been still making moves, but no, now I'm showing up, and it's beginning to actually show that I'm showing up, because before I was just here, just kind of dibbling dabbling, but now I'm ready. And I think it took me to get here to actually be ready. And I think the thing that I'm doing now with people reaching their greatness is helping them identify themselves. Because oftentimes we either don't know who we are, or we forget who we are, or we stop learning and remembering who we are and start to get to know ourselves all the time. Just because you're a Gen X, or just because you're a baby boomer, or just because you're an alpha, or just because you're a millennial, or just because you're Gen Z, does not mean that you know thyself.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take the time to know thyself. You have to take the time to be okay with all your flaws that other people may think is beauty, but they're your flaws within yourself, within your mind. You have to work on those things before you can go out and help other people reach their greatest. You have to work on those things. So for me, every day I go deeper with who I am and who it is that God wants me to become, right?
Mm.
And furthermore, the people that choose to, that God sends to me, or attract, or however it may be, they're looking for that. They're looking for that thing, that how do I get to my greatest? I think she knows how to tell me to get there. And that's who I actually attract as clients, because what I know for sure is that we all have greatness within us. We were born with it. Just some of us know how to tap into it early. Some of us know how to tap into it later. And some of us still don't know how to tap into it? Or we get like sprinkles of it, or then we go back. And then also, we don't know who we are to the degree that we start morphing ourselves into what's popular, what other people are doing. We change our messaging and our careers. Because we don't know thyself. When you know thyself, you know you're here to do greater. You know that you have a purpose in life. You know that part. You may not know what it is, but you know that it is in you, right? So I think if you're going to be in your full greatness, if you can't identify it, then you got to go someone like me who can help you identify it, right? But at the same time, for me, you have to be ready, because I tell you the truth, and some people don't like the truth just yet, right? So I'm the kind of teacher that I will tell you the truth, and whether you like it or not, I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, oftentimes what I've seen today, especially when it's having a social media piece, people are very confused on who they are and what they want to become or what they used to be. And I'm talking about my generation, Generation X. I was surprised to see so many people in my generation that are confused on who they are and knowing thyself. It blew my mind. So I think now, as I work with clients, it's about them going deeper. Like, who are you? And why do you want to do that? Because most people I want to do it because I saw it over there, the shiny object syndrome. And social media is so hard not to see the shiny object and want to go over there. Social media reality is we make our money there. We do well there. You and I both, Jill, you, Michael, and me and my family. However, I streamline it because I don't want to lose my imagination. I don't want to lose the love language I have that is private and personal between my husband and I, the love language between me and my family. So I think the biggest thing that people have to remember is put things in pockets. Don't give social media so much time that you're losing focus on the family, right? Don't give becoming famous or a huge influencer and you lose focus on who you are, your core values. Don't have to be, and I just did an article today about this, about how people feel like in order to be influenced, they got to start doing the more they show on the pictures, the more likes they get. No, know thyself and say no to the brands and opportunities and things like that are not aligned with your true values, because over time you will regret it. So I tell people, if you're going to walk in your full greatness, and how I help them walk in their greatness is you have to know thyself. And that starts with meditation. That starts with clarity. And I didn't realize that I needed to do this to this level, to the deep level, like we're talking right now, until recently, that I really need to do this on a deeper level. So that's why I added the whole affirmations, as you know, in my stories all the time. There's always going to be one in there all the time. There's 2 or 3 of them in there. Every day I make sure I put 3 or 4 in there because I know that people are struggling with who am I? And where is my life going? Because they have all this shiny object syndrome. And I think I did not know that until I really started to lean on social media, because I just figured everybody's like me, no, there are people out here really struggling about where do I go from here? And how do I get there? Right? So that's what I like to do for the clients, to help them figure out their greatness and move with intention in it. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Focus on what you need to do. Like you said in the beginning with the racehorse, you have to have that racehorse mentality. Otherwise, you will literally, if a racehorse can look to the left or the right, he's going to fall down. Because he's too busy watching everybody else. He's going to lose sight of the track that God and the path is designed for them. And that's us too. You're driving a car. If I'm looking over here, I'm going to crash. I got to stay in my lane. I got to stay laser focused so I can get to my greatness. And that is what we have to do.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That's so beautiful. And you said a couple things too that are so powerful. And just like you said about Martha Stewart, yeah, she didn't pop off until she was 50s. And then her and Snoop, have their brand deal that was a couple years ago, maybe 5-10 years ago. And they're both in their 50s. I think she's in her 70s. He's probably in his 50s.
She's much older now.
Yeah.
But Snoop is with me, I believe. Snoop is right about my age range.
Right.
But Martha Stewart is so dope.
I love her.
Me too.
I love her. Yeah,
Oh,
because she just diminishes all of those limiting beliefs that you can't be
yes,
successful after 30,
yes,
even after 25. And I think what you said in there is so important. You will discover what you're meant to do in your own time. And it's
yes.
easy to like want to beat yourself up about like, oh, why didn't I figure this out when I was a kid? Or why didn't I figure this out, before I went to college or after I got out of college? You're meant to find that out in the moment you're supposed to find that out.
Yes.
And instead of, beating yourself up, let that drive you. Like when COVID happened, we had just started our business, and we had just started the market by, the July prior. And
Oh,
I
by the way, I love
remember,
your name, Market Vibe. I love
oh,
it.
thank you. Very California influenced, as
Yeah, I
you,
love
you
it.
know. But I remember thinking when it was happening, I was like, this is a huge opportunity for
Yes.
us to grind and come out of this, because I didn't want to have any regret, because
Hmm.
when we have this time at home. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to have any regrets after this, that I should have started then,
Hmm.
whenever it happened. And then a year later, Michael walked away from his job. So if you're
Yeah,
feeling that pull in the moment, just freaking go for it, and
you got to. You
do
have
it
to.
in your own time. And do what feels right. And I know I have had my friends and family have been struggling with, like, what am I supposed to do in this life? And I think you just have to start with where you're at and start something new. Like my younger sister, I'm so proud of her. She was feeling really stuck. And she was like, you know what, I'm just going to start going and exploring all of the national parks. And now she's like doing like more brand deals with, adventure companies. And
Oh, I
she's
love it.
really found purpose in her life, and it's in nature and out and exploring. So you can always start wherever you're at. It doesn't matter what's happened before. What matters is right now.
Right now.
And what do you want it to look like moving forward? So, but
That's so
yeah,
great.
Karen, I absolutely love chatting with you, because like I said, you know how to get past all of like any kind of armor. I don't have much armor, but you know how to get past any of that. And just like what you say like really touches my heart. So I am so
That is so
blessed for
sweet.
this relationship. And I know that all of the people out there who are hearing this, I hope that they feel blessed by this today. So I
Oh,
just want
thank
to
you
thank you
for that.
so much for your time and your heart. And this was so magical. But if people want to come and learn more about you and talk with you, where can they find you?
I think right now the best thing for them to do is just go to my Instagram and hit the button that says, email me, and we take it from there. I have lots of websites and things of that nature, but they can just go to Instagram and they'll see a link there that says Raising Greatness, and it has like all the links there, and you can just click the link and decide how you want to reach out to me. And I think I want to say to you, thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for seeing me and hearing me. I think that's so important for all of us to stop, take the moment to see and feel and hear the people that are speaking, that are talking to you, that need to hear from you. So I want to thank you. You and Michael are such beautiful souls. And honestly, I didn't even know I made that kind of impact on your life. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. I really am grateful, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, that is the thing I want people to know, is I had some type of positive impact on their lives. And if they are trying to get to their greatness, I'm that girl for that. And not in a cliche way, because everyone's greatness looks different.
Mhm.
Everyone's looks different. And I think
Absolutely.
people have to understand that how I move does not mean you have to move the way I move. You move the way you move. And those things will happen for you. Like your sister, she's out doing nature, the
Hmm.
very thing that people love today. I mean, I bet you she's getting car deals and all kind of gear deals. I mean, that's an amazing avenue, but it's an avenue that means a lot more to people than we ever knew. I'll say this last thing because I think it may be somewhere you might want to add it to the podcast. I'm not sure. But I worked with some kids yesterday. I was at an elementary school. My heart is with the elementary kids, I have to admit. And I was with some second graders. And I told them that if there's one thing I want you to remember in your path, is that you are destined for greatness. Your greatness. Not what mommy says it looks like, not what daddy says it looks like, grandma, auntie, whoever takes care of you, but your greatness is your destiny for you. And it resonated with them. The little alphas, they get it. And they think big. they're not like how I was as a kid. You know, I thought big, but I thought I was strange because I thought so darn big, right? But I'll tell you, the voice of a child seeing, you know, their eyes light up because they have the mask on here still, right? So I told them, I said, you know, I can see you all smiling because Miss F had to learn how to read eyes. And your eyes tell me how you're feeling, how you're doing. And guess what, you guys? I see you so much better. So COVID taught me how to really see people because we no longer can see the whole face. All you can see is the eyes. And we know the eyes are the avenue to your soul,
Mhm.
right? We know this. But oftentimes, I think we would just live in life and we never really looked at people like that. But with the mask, you were forced to look people directly in their eyes. And so now I can see how you feel and how you, all these different things right through your eyes, something that we all took for granted before. So I think that too is a gift that COVID gave us, is an opportunity to stop and enjoy the little tiny things like a tree and nature and all the things your sister's doing. And good for her,
Yeah,
right?
I'm so
You
proud of
know,
her.
good for her. So I
Mhm.
think if we all take the time now to look people directly in their eyes and let them know I see you, then that alone helps them get to their greatness. So that's what I want to share.
I love that. Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Jill. I think you and Michael make amazing people. And this marketing vibe is going places, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all follow them too. Look, I mean, they're super dope on TikTok. They're killing it over there. And they showing people what love looks like. That is
Yeah.
so important today. So thank you for that.